Americans for Fair Taxation presents the Weekly Chairman's Report, written by Steve Hayes, president of Americans for Fair Taxation, and recorded by Bob Paxton, a volunteer with the Florida Fair Tax Educational Association. And now, this week's Chairman's Report.
Hello, I'm Bob Paxton with the AFFT Chairman's Report for Friday, December 13th, 2019. The Internal Revenue Code and rent seeking. Rent-seeking is an economic term that is derived from the work of economist Adam Smith. It simply means obtaining favorable treatment, generally from a government entity. Now, in D.C. terms, rent-seeking has come to mean seeking an advantage from the government that is only available to you or to others similarly situated. For example, many of us have decided to purchase solar panels for our homes. Now, economically, if you pay $25,000 for a solar panel system and you save $2,500 per year in electricity costs, it'll take you 10 years to earn back the initial $25,000 investment through cost savings. Now, in a clear example of rent-seeking, the solar industry, with liberal donations to the swamp, has persuaded the D.C. ruling class that solar is so important that a homeowner purchasing solar panels should get back $7,500 as a direct credit against his federal income tax. Now, of course, this credit has nothing to do with enhancing the solar industry's ability to sell solar systems now, does it? Nah, it's only for the environment. Yeah, right. For example, if a solar purchaser owes $8,000 in federal income taxes, the solar credit will save him $7,500, thereby lowering his tax bill to just $500. This means that other taxpayers have financed 30% of the value of the solar panels for the homeowner. Now, this is all a tax credit does. It transfers costs from one group to another. This tax credit reduces the cost to the homeowner from $25,000 to $17,500 and reduces the time needed to recoup the initial investment from 10 years down to 7 years. Now, many realtors insist that solar panels increase the value of a home by at least the cost of the solar system. Therefore, after 7 years, the homeowner no longer has any electricity costs because his electricity to the home is being provided by the solar panels at no additional cost to the homeowner. Now, the benefit for the homeowner is more than just the shortened time to realize savings equal to the initial investment. For example, if a homeowner invested $17,500 and received a 5% return, he would receive $875. He would then owe federal income tax at a rate of, say, 10%, pay the $87.50 in federal taxes, and have $787.50 remaining. Now, contrast this with the solar investor who saved $2,500 per year on his $17,500 investment after the tax credit. Now, this is the same as earning $2,500 per year in a bank account, but is actually better. This calculates out to be a 14.2% return. But since the homeowner is not getting interest on his investment, but merely saving the $2,500 that he would otherwise have to pay, the 14.2% is not subject to any federal income tax. In addition, it's a guaranteed return because the homeowner is paying himself, and the investment is not subject to the normal risks of a high return investment. Except for the money spent on lobbying and donations to politicians, the solar industry is getting a huge benefit to assist its sales. Such benefits are only available to industries who pay the D.C. ruling class the right amount of money. Now, this is a classic example of rent-seeking, getting something from the government that is not available to other citizens who are not purchasing solar panels. The taxes saved by the homeowner are paid by the rest of us who have not purchased solar panels. There are many other examples like this: electric car tax credits, numerous real estate tax deductions, and countless benefits to other companies. So let's look at the income tax code complexity and how that relates to rent seeking. Many of us have spoken to very wealthy people, even to the leaders of major companies, and, in amazement, have observed only polite interest when we explain the benefits of the fair tax. Generally, these people seek to end that discussion and move on to other things. The reason? Most of these individuals and companies believe that they have gotten some big advantage over others through the current income tax code and see the income tax as a way of protecting their positions. Not only is complexity required in the income tax code to create special benefits that can be sold to special interests, it's also useful in another way. Wealthy taxpayers and wealthy companies can afford the best tax specialists who can spend whatever time is necessary to decipher the income tax code as best they can, or at least confuse the IRS enough so that they will accept their interpretation. Wealthy taxpayers and companies can also challenge any decision made by the IRS without regard to the amount of legal fees involved. So what about the rest of us? We don't have the resources to pay for the best tax advice or for legal fees if we have to go to court. In conclusion, many candidates promise that their policies will level the playing field. They promise that they will take away the advantages that groups they disagree with have long used. Now, in most cases, these politicians want to give their supporters the advantage that they seek to take away from the other groups. Politicians on both sides really don't want to level the playing field for everyone because a level playing field would cost these politicians money and power. If they sincerely wanted to level the playing field, they would, as a group, endorse the fair tax and make it the law of the land. The fair tax means that small business owners don't need expensive tax consultants and that the rest of us would just do what's best for us. If we want solar panels, we purchase them. If we want an electric car, we buy one. Now, many justify these special benefits because they say that the tax credits help subsidize production of things that have value to our environment. But rather than just doing something that only benefits some of us, wouldn't it make a lot more sense for these companies needing subsidies to just petition the Congress for money for their industry? Then all of us could see the expenditures, and what the ruling class really fears, all of us could then calculate the amount of fair tax that's being collected from each of us for these necessary expenditures. This, of course, is not what the ruling class wants. This will level the playing field is just code for let's reward my friends. Now, of course, if you hear someone say that they want to pass the fair tax, then you know that person really does want to level the playing field. The D.C. ruling class and their minions sincerely believe that they have superior understanding and knowledge, and they are continually surprised that some of us dare question their decisions. To them, we should emulate the line from Alfred Lord Tennyson's poem, The Charge of the Light Brigade. Ours is not to reason why, but to do or die. Let's really level the playing field. Pass the fair tax, the only truly fair tax.
This has been the Weekly Chairman's Report, written by Steve Hayes, President of Americans for Fair Taxation. Check back every week for news and information about the fair tax and learn why the fair tax should replace our antiquated federal income tax system. If you'd like to receive a copy of the Chairman's Report in your inbox every week, sign up at fairtax.org.